Boy, sit up and take notice. They've got to rank BC now, and I hope it's pretty high.
You know, I'm going to Miami tomorrow morning for the Patriots game. If I have half as much fun there as I did tonight, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
You can't beat college football. You know, what chance did they have? Here BC was trailing 16-3 late third quarter, ball deep on their own 10 against one of the truly great defenses in the country. And that's when these incredible BC kids pulled the rabbit out of the hat. Incredible ball game with Clemson leading 3-0. Kevin Mack, as in Mack truck, rambles 47 first quarter yards. The Eagles in the hole at 10-0. But Doug Flutie hit tonight's game hero Troy Stratford with this 37-yard job, setting up a Kevin Snow field goal, a 10-3 game. And Tiger coach Danny Ford had to take out his chaw. But at 13-3, when the brilliant Donald Ikwabuke hit a tremendous 55-yarder, Clemson led 16-3, and the Eagles needed a spark.
I think that did turn some things around. You know, we were moving the ball in the first half. We just couldn't get the ball in the end zone.
At 16-10 fourth quarter, Stratford tiptoed through the tulips, setting up the go-ahead touchdown by fullback Bob Beestick. The Eagles went to the lead 17-16. The powerhouse Clemson Tigers were in a state of shock. Trailing by just a point, next possession, Stacy Driver fumbles on his own 10-yard line. The Eagles have the ball. Just 2 plays later, that same Troy Stratford. He's going to bang it home for the third unanswered score and a 24-16 BC lead. Still, the Tigers with a touchdown and a 2-pointer could have pulled out the tie. Late fourth quarter, Kevin Mack will fumble the football and BC will come up with yet another turnover. Did they go conservative? No siree. They went right for the throat. Doug Flutie to Gerard Phelan for the touchdown and a 31-16 lead. So with less than a minute to play, the comeback that seemed so impossible just minutes is just seconds away from reality here at Boston College, much to the delight of Jack McNell and his Eagles. Jack, this is obviously a tremendous victory for you here tonight.
You're damn right it is. Our darn kids played like hell. I couldn't be proud of them.
Well, I'll tell you, it didn't take Doug Flutie long to get cranked up, did it? One night, huh?
One game into his junior year, and he's now the BC all-time leading
Wow.
passer. That's the kind of player he is. And I liked what I saw out there tonight. I saw a BC offense with more balance than it had a year ago. And if you like watching Doug Flutie, you'll enjoy it even more with a running game to work with, too. BC bops the Bears of Morgan State tonight, 45-12. It is a season of high hopes for Jack McNell's team. But there are always question marks in any season opener. But a charged-up team and a charged-up crowd tonight. The visitors a little overwhelmed in their first game ever against a Division I team. Fumble on their second play. Steve Diassi hopped on the first of 2 fumble recoveries, and they're off. Troy Stratford, the sophomore tailback, shows you how to run wide and how to put your head down. He gets into the end zone with a power. 7-0 Eagles. Then the Bears bear down after 6. Near the end of the first period. Now this is classic Doug Flutie. He tiptoes, darts, dances, makes it happen to Scott Geiselman for a first down. But as the second period begins, he makes it pay off with a dart to Brian Brennan, a flanker, with the first of 2 scores, 14-6. Now watch the very next possession. And next time they touch the ball, Flutie goes right back up on top. And again, it's Brennan wide open behind the Bears, in from 39. It was 21-6, and it was over for all intents and purposes. Brennan, the senior flanker, caught 5 in the first half. And how about this hard throw? And how about the move by Brennan here to shake free for an extra 7 yards? That's big league football there. Again, it set up a score. The running game, left side, Steve Strahan rumbles in. 28-6 at the half. They get it big, 45-6. Before the Bears get a late score, and Morgan State, with their best moves at the half, I guess, they go peacefully. BC wins their opener and look tough doing it.
Well, there are other sports today, believe it or not. In Philadelphia, a letdown game for BC against Temple, but a sign of a good ball club. They won the ball game anyway. It was a frustrating day for BC. Here, Flutie goes to Brian Brennan, and he'll fumble the football as BC coughed up scores of opportunities deep in Temple territory. In fact, Temple in the red would drive for the lead here. A beautiful run by number 6, Paul Palmer of the Temple Owls is going to set up a controversial go-ahead touchdown. Watch it closely. Quarterback Tim Reardon goes to Ellis Presley here in the corner, not Elvis Presley, Ellis, and it's 15-10. Temple, now there's about 5 minutes to play in the game, and BC needs a clutch touchdown. Remember last week when BC lost Troy Stratford in a kickoff return? Well, Jack McNeil had to throw out his backup tailback, Kenny Bell, to try and get something going, and he broke one into Temple territory, set him up in good shape. But it took a third down scramble by who else? Quarterback Doug Flutie of Natick, who scooted around the left side on a 3rd and 11 to pick up the key first down for the Eagles. Later on, same drive, it's going to be Flutie, and he's going to find his favorite receiver, Brian Brennan. He'll the winning touchdown, which Strahan. The Eagles win it by 3. Bicknell after the game.
We were scared. We really were. We had been down there all day and couldn't get in the end zone, almost like last week. And we came down this time. Doug made a heck of a play down there on the option, and we got in there and won it.
The trick is getting the points on the board. We've been having trouble getting the points on the board, and we finally did it when we needed it, and we came through.
21-18. Yale Bowl, BC, and Yale. Flutie to Brennan, 6-0. Eagles. This will be a laugher for Doug and company. Here he goes to Brendan Murphy, 13-0. Scott Gieselman next in line for the touchdown, 42-7. Bulldog, ow, ow, ow. Northeastern in Rhode Island.
Well, let's see. The Bruins won tonight. Celtics finally got off on the winning ways tonight, and most of all, BC.
BC. I never enjoyed sitting in 3 hours of traffic as much as I did tonight. But
Or
down
probably.
there, right? 56,000 and Beast of the East. That's what they're crowing around the heights tonight, and why not? As the Eagles beat Penn State today for the first time ever, and by doing so, position themselves for a major bowl invitation. Big? Oh, the people knew how big this game was.
Hi, Mom. I'm not studying today, like I promised.
What station are we going to be at?
Go on, stop bugging the camera.
The players, they knew how big this game was.
No more second chances. No more. This is the only one. This is for the Beast of the East. Don't get hyper. We got plenty of time. Good memory. Baby. Remember what it felt after that West Virginia game? Remember how bad it felt?
Let's go. Let's go!
First possession, Doug Flutie to Brian Brennan. Second quarter, Flutie again to Brennan. This time, a miraculous ricochet to Troy Stratford, 14-0. Late second quarter, Steve Strahan, 21-0. The BC bubble finally burst late in the first half when freshman sensation DJ Dozier beat a blitz on a draw play, 21-7. A late exchange of field goals, 24-10 at the break. A late Penn State touchdown cut the lead to 7 points, and the Eagles needed a spectacular play to bail out of a hole. They got one from Gerard Phelan.
I got off the ball, and the guy jammed me a touch, and fortunately I got around him and got by him. And when I turned to look, it was up in the air, and all I had to do was go and run under it. And it was there, and I had a shot at it, and I came up with it, fortunately.
Which set up the insurance field goal off the toe of the much maligned Kevin Snow. What's bigger, getting married, having your first child, or beating Penn State?
All three of them are pretty big, but I tell you, I couldn't be happier. Our kids played like heck. We didn't go into a shell and say, hey, we got to hold on to win. We said, let's just come out and get after them.
Who do you think should be the #1 team in the East as of now?
Well, I would guess it has to be BC. I really hadn't given it much thought up until I would guess. They beat us, and I would think.
Paterno just told me he thinks BC is the best team in the East.
Well, I tend to agree with him, but you can't come out and say that. But I just said it, huh?
You know, it was a pretty good night, David. I mean, let's face it, a good night is a good night. Is everybody happy? BC beating Army, boosting their bowl stature. BU over UConn, clinching the conference crown and a playoff spot. Harvard, prohibitive underdogs playing unbeaten, untied Holy Cross to a virtual standstill. A good night all around. Let's start it off at West Point, New York. Michie Stadium at this time of year, one of the most beautiful in the country. You know, Army's had a tough time recruiting, but here's a switch. As this ball player arrives at midfield the easy way. I tell you, that's traveling in style. But the Army would find the Eagles a bit too much. Opening kickoff, Army in black. Elton Akins fumbles the opening kickoff. BC in white all over the ball. They capitalize. First possession, Doug Flutie, the first of 4 touchdown tosses. This one is Scotty Gieselman, 6-0. They miss the kick. BC defense completely shut down quarterback Rob Healy. Dave Pereira on the pickoff, and the Eagles exploded from here. Touchdown toss number 2 goes from number 22. Doug Flutie to Brian Brennan. He's wide open. They made the 2-point conversion, 14-0, and the Corps of Cadets seemed ready to jump in with the score 20-0 BC. The play of the day, Flutie to Brennan on the throwback. Watch the cutback. Doug would ring up 258 yards on the day. This one to Brian, the prettiest of the day. With 3:05 left in the half, Flutie hit Gieselman for the second time. This time, Snow's kick was okay, 27-0. In the second half, BC coach cleared his bench, but not until after Flutie hit for number 4, Brennan, 34-zip. Too late, Army scores 34-14. Now on the bowl watch, how does this affect BC, you may ask? Well, Nebraska, they won. They're going to the Cotton Bowl, or rather the Orange Bowl. Texas to the Cotton. Auburn and Georgia, they play this week, and that's next Saturday. Miami of Florida squeeze one out. They won. SMU won. Michigan, Ohio State, Iowa, they all won. Now the losers, BC should jump ahead of these teams. Maryland, Florida, North Carolina, and Oklahoma. Those 4 clubs lost this afternoon, so I don't know. Well, I talked with BC Athletic Director Bill Flynn about an hour ago. He talked with Liberty Bowl Chairman Bud Dudley. The Bowl still wants Notre Dame to play the Eagles. That's right, despite their loss to Air Force today. Dudley told Flynn he fully expects the Irish to honor their commitment, but there is some talk of a player vote tomorrow, too, among the Irish players. Irish or no Irish, BC made their point today. Holy Cross, the victim. Adaptability is one of the reasons Boston College has a good football team. When storied quarterback Doug Flutie endures a dismal passing half, as he did today, running back Troy Stratford can pick up the pieces. 104 yards and a 10-0 Eagle halftime lead. Stratford's efforts would win him the Amelia Award for game's most valuable player. And if the offense sputters, a hard-hitting defense can help, because in that first half, the monkey was on the BC back.
We were tight, and isn't that amazing that we can't come out and relax and play, but the kids want it so doggone bad. You know, it's not that we're not ready to play. We're tight, and but we came out, but we were hitting on defense, and defense kept us in a ball game.
But even when Flutie's passes are shaky, he'll kill you with a run. Nevertheless, reporters were busily preparing their "What's Wrong with Doug Flutie" stories at the half when the Natick Nat masterminded 4 straight BC second half touchdowns.
I don't worry about Doug Flutie. That's he'll play and he'll compete, and he'll have tough moments. You just don't panic with him. He's not panicking, so I'm not panicking.
Second half, I had all the time in the world. I set my feet, and I just set up, and I knew what I was doing. Receivers, so I was thinking a lot better on my feet in the second half.
It would be a long, long second half for Holy Cross coach Rick Carter, who in fairness lost most of his best ball players due to injuries, either before the game or during. Nevertheless, it was a jovial BC squad that officially accepted the Liberty Bowl invitation against Notre Dame. Playing in Alabama, let alone beating them. Those days are gone forever. Today, in the snow and the sleet and the yuck in Foxborough, they beat the Tide 20-13. How sweet it is for Jack Bicknell and his Liberty Bowl-bound Eagles. I'll tell you, Alabama come out storming, though. A bad pass from Jack Bicknell Jr. here to punter John Mihalik, and Alabama swarms him. But the BC defense held, and they settled for a field goal, did Bama. Van Tiffen, one of 2 to give Alabama a 6-0 lead. Last play first half, though. Strahan goes in. BC misses the point, 6-6. Early third quarter, a power failure. Stormed the stadium, or didn't storm as the case may be, and Alabama blocked another punt. Wasn't on TV because they had a power failure. They were black for 45 minutes. So Bama led by 7, at which point Greg Good, a freshman, a nice run, but he coughs up the ball, one of 2 critical Alabama turnovers in the fourth period because BC were capitalized. They go to Kenny Bell. He's the second-team tailback. Troy Stratford injured early in that half, 20 yards on the dash. It'll set up the tying touchdown. It will be here on the old naked play here. Flutie going right, finds Bobby Beestick, the Meriden, Connecticut captain, and it is 13-13 all. Next possession, Walter Lewis fumbles the football, a fine quarterback. On top of it, Steve Lubisher from BC, and Flutie goes to work. Finds number 13, Brian Brennan. Look at the whack he took there in the 15. But BC, mid-fourth quarter, will punch it in. Beestick again. 20-13, the Eagles lead. Now, BC got the ball back as Alabama ran out of downs. Now, Flutie could have gone to one knee and ran out the clock for the Eagles, but he gives it to Beestick, who fumbles. And Jack Bicknell, yes, the alumni had the nooses ready on that call, and they're ready to tighten it a little bit because less than a minute to go, Walter Lewis is going to throw a long bomb, and interference is going to be called on BC to the clock with 2 minutes left, but here's a chance for the tying score. Lewis cannot find anybody open. He'll dash for the end zone, but Walter, you're not going to make it. As BC closes him in on the 10-yard line, they hold on to win the ball game on the last play of the game, 20-13. There's Lewis, there's Flutie, the 2 fine quarterbacks, and we'll hear from the guys in the locker room.
I couldn't have been happier. Our kids just played like heck. The conditions, we didn't give a darn what it was like. We just went out and played, and I'm really happy for everybody.
It was just a regular naked play, and I guess they had never seen that kind of naked done before, and I was wide open. There was no one within 10 yards of me, I think.
And it was an outstanding season for us, and it's something we'll treasure for the rest of our lives, and a win over Alabama is unbelievable.
Well, BC fans are partying in Quincy, and that is where Bob Newmeyer is. And the score?
All right, Liz, BC in the third quarter, trailing 19-18, in the shadow of their own goal line, just completed a big third down pass. But they're still trailing by 1 point in the Liberty Bowl about halfway through that third quarter. But let's show you what has happened until this point. And it was BC scoring the first touchdown, as happened last year in the Tangerine Bowl. They scored first. Flutie here to Brian Brennan. Nice play. They missed the point. They led 6-0. But it was all Notre Dame in the first half up to this point. Alan Pickett over the top slams in on a 4th and goal, completing an 87-yard drive. And the Irish led 7 at this stage. Critical play here. Golick, the brother of Bob of the Browns. There was about 3 or 4 Golicks that play for Notre Dame. This guy blocked the BC punt, set him up in great shape. And from there, Blair Keel, the senior back, went to Miller for the touchdown. Again, the kick failed. Notre Dame 13, BC 6. Game would lead to 19-6. And Alan Pickett would skirt off right tackle. Made it a 19-6 ball game in the second quarter. But BC, a gutsy drive. Here's Flutie. Waiting, scrambling, looking, finally throwing, and he finds Bob Beestick wide open, the captain out of Meriden, Connecticut, deep in Irish territory. And from there, a critical play as Flutie goes to one of his favorite men, Gerard Phelan, 19-12 Irish and a half. Now, here in the third quarter, BC has scored on this play. Flutie to Scott Gieselman. They went for 2. It failed, and that is where we end. We're about halfway through the third quarter. It's Notre Dame 19, BC 18. BC has the ball about their own 30-yard line. We're about halfway through the third. All right, important game tonight for the Celtics.